Breaking tonight, everyone. In a turning twist, the Wike-led PDP faction has now expelled Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, PDP chieftain Bode George, and several others, in what seems a retaliatory move in the wake of last weekend's controversial national convention in Ibadan. It's a dramatic escalation in the internal war tearing the PDP apart, and today that war came to a head at the Wadata Plaza. Both the Wike and Makinde camps conveyed rival neck sessions, each claiming legitimacy. Supporters, we saw them chanting, scuffles breaking out, police firing tear gas to disperse the crowds, and reports say Wike arrived later, flanked by heavy security. But by then, the Makinde Turaki team, including Governor Bala Mohammed, had forced their way into the neck hall. In the chaos, journalists were tear gassed, and even accusations not yet confirmed, not yet verified rather, that someone may have been shot in the midst of all of that. This isn't just a power struggle, it's a full-blown showdown for control of the party's soul and structure. Let's begin with someone who saw all of this played out earlier today. TVC State House correspondent Femi Akonde, he joins me live from our studio in Abuja. Femi, quickly take us through what you saw when the first group arrived this morning. How did the arrival set the tone? And at what point did things escalate, triggering the police to fire tear gas?
Well, hi, Nifemi. Samuel Anyanwu, the embattled National Secretary, or should I say suspended National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, arrived quite early today at the headquarters of the PDP. You know, he went to his office, he briefed the press, just telling us that, well, all is set for the National Working Committee meeting and indeed the Board of Trustees meeting that was scheduled to hold at 2 p.m. today. Questions were asked about the presence of policemen, heavy security around here. He downplayed that, just saying, well, it's normal protocol for security to be around on a special day when the National Working Committee of the party and indeed the Board of Trustees would meet. You know, at some point, tension began to build, and, you know, we could feel it. Then we heard news that Tamino Turaki and his NWC, National Working Committee, were on their way to the PDP secretariat. At that point, security was strengthened around the secretariat. But when Tamino Turaki arrived, he arrived with his own security too, and there was, you know, a free-for-all between policemen, I must say, policemen fighting themselves publicly, you know, policemen in uniform fighting themselves publicly, you know, just to make way, one on this side, the other on the Turaki faction. You know, eventually they were able to make way for Turaki to enter the premises of the PDP secretariat. Later on, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, the governor, and Bala Mohammed, governor of Bauchi State, also came into the secretariat. It was a bit difficult for them to gain access to the neck hall of the PDP, where the meeting was already ongoing. That is the Wike and Anyanwu-backed PDP were holding their NWC meeting. It was already ongoing, but eventually they forced their way into that place. The chairman was going to be disallowed, but, you know, when the policemen saw Seyi Makinde and Bala Mohammed, they had to stand down, and I believe they came with some other police officers who were superior to those ones asked to deny entrance to Makinde and co. In the neck hall, I would say, at some point they didn't allow cameramen in, but they allowed thugs in, and the thugs rained hell, fire and brimstone inside that neck hall, beating up everybody in sight. Eventually, journalists were allowed in. The NTA cameraman was beaten up, his equipment damaged. A lot happened inside the neck hall before they moved from there to the chairman's office, where Tamino Turaki, you know, assumed office, sat on that seat as chairman of the party, and made some proclamation as chairman of the party before later coming out. And at that time, there was total chaos, or should I call it anarchy, outside the PDP secretariat. That's outside the building. Police fired tear gas in every direction. At some point, even they started deliberately targeting people. They saw the channel's cameraman fully kitted with his anti-riot gear and all of that. I don't know if that's what maybe provoked them, and they deliberately targeted him and shot him on his leg. around his knee. It was really, really bad to see, and these are some of the issues that add up statistics that at the end of the day, when Amnesty International and the Committee to Protect Journalists and other global organizations come up with reports about human rights issues in Nigeria, you see the police begin to run helter-skelter to counter this claim. But at the end of the day, in the front line, they have not performed excellently well in crowd control, because most of those tear gas fired, a lot of that was unprovoked. There was absolutely no need for that, because it just appeared like trigger-happy policemen just really, happy just to shoot tear gas in every direction and harass and oppress innocent citizens, including journalists. At some point, too, we ran to safety in the corner, and, the policemen came there and said, "What are you guys doing here?" We said, "Oh, we are journalists," because the whole air was filled with smoke. "We are journalists." And they started making gestures for us, saying, "Una want smoke too? Una want smoke too?" Before we knew what was going on, they fired another tear gas right in our midst. We had to take off, leave that place again. It was really, really chaotic and sincerely embarrassing to see Nigerian police in this very unprofessional manner in crowd control and managing that kind of situation. Well, the governors also had their fair share. We saw Seyi Makinde's eyes, Wike himself, Minister of FCT, did not step out of the car, so I believe he was immune from the whole tear gas that filled the air. Bala Mohammed, Turaki, and all others also, had to go through the torture the torture you get from, inhaling the tear gas smoke. Indeed. A lot of people collapsed. Some were asthmatic, some, just couldn't withstand the tear gas, but the police was not letting up. They continued to fire tear gas and fill the air with smoke. Eventually, Indeed. The whole of that Zone 5 of Wuse turned into a very disorderly scene. Shops had to lock up. A lot of people had to pack their goods and close shops for the day, and, it wasn't a scene to behold, Nifemi.
I have to bring in my next guest now, but I'm guessing Nyesom Wike came in right after Makinde-led group had left the PDP headquarters, because we later on heard that they too now have expelled, some members of the other group. Who currently occupies the Wadata Plaza as we speak now?
It's hard to tell, Ifemi. It's hard to tell, sincerely. Nyesom Wike came in while Bala Mohammed and Makinde and co were still there. When Bala Mohammed was giving that press conference, the vehicle behind him was Nyesom Wike's vehicle. Nyesom Wike did not step out of the vehicle at that point, maybe because of the tear gas and all of that. So, he was in his vehicle. Seyi Makinde and Bala Mohammed had to also stay in the vehicle in their own car. The NWC elected at the Ibadan convention, they were also in their own vehicle, and, just allowing the police shoot tear gas in all directions. And eventually we started to hear that the police is planning to seal off Wadata Plaza and deny access to either to the two groups. We don't know how far they have gone with that. We cannot say categorically now who is in charge of Wadata Plaza, either the Wike block or the Turaki, Seyi Makinde, and Bala Mohammed block.
Well, thank God you're safe, and hopefully our colleague at Channels TV also gets well soon, who was shot by the tear gas canister. Still our correspondent live for us in Abuja, Femi Akande, thank you for the update there.
Thanks, Femi.
Well, let's turn our attention now to the studio here in Lagos. I'm joined by Tunji Abdulrahman, who's a lawyer and a member of the People's Democratic Party. I guess you'll find out what side is on by the time we start this conversation. Mr. Abdulrahman, very terrible news we're following. It's a shame that in 2025, politics has gone south, and we have now, turned sides amongst the police to even experience such a violent move. But first, from your perspective, how legitimate is the Wike-led NEC and BOT meeting that held today? On what basis is Wike's faction, or we call them Wike's group, claiming the right to convene at the Wadata Plaza today?
Firstly, let me say that I am on the side of the truth, peace and unity of the party. So I'm not on any other party side. I'm on the side of the truth. For my own understanding and my own belief, that Ibadan Convention has no legal backing. It's shaking. There is no foundation for it to stand.
On what basis?
It has no foundation to stand. There are a lot of things happening. One, bearing in mind the order of courts, there are 2 orders of courts.
There were 3, actually.
Yes, I'm coming. They restrained them from going ahead.
Okay.
There is one in the Ibadan, which says go ahead. There are 2 conflicting orders. And the one in Abuja, which is the Federal High Court, is not a mere ex parte order. It's a full judgment of court. And I've listened to lawyers, even including senior lawyers, argue that when there are 2 conflicting judgments, the last in time should be followed. I want to disagree with them that they are misinterpreting it in this case, in the instance case that we're talking about. That principle only applies to a situation whereby there are 2 conflicting orders of the superior court. In other words, there's an order of the superior court that are conflicting on the same issue, which now is before the lower court. Which one should the lower court follow? The one that came last. That is the principle they are applying to this case. So if they are saying where there are conflicting orders of the same court of coordinate jurisdiction, that means they are saying that our system already envisages a situation whereby Mr. A and B will file a case in court A, Mr. A and B again will go to another court and file another case, and therefore that will be conflicting.
But on what basis are you saying that the Federal High Court in Abuja is superior to the court in Ibadan?
I'm not saying superior.
Because that's the implication of it. Why?
I say that principle they are applying to this case apply to a case where, for instance, there are 2 conflicting decisions of the Court of Appeal.
I get you, Kelly, but I'm saying that we're looking at cases from courts of coordinated jurisdiction. I mean, what nullifies the Ibadan ruling vis-a-vis what we had in Abuja?
What nullifies the Ibadan ruling is that it was an abuse of court process. If there is judgment of court, I know they will argue that the parties and issues are not the same, but the outcome and the issue, the subject matter, are they not the same? It's not about the convention of the Ibadan. The one in the 2 at the Federal Court, it may be a different fact, but it has to do with a convention at Ibadan. The Ibadan whole has to do with the same fact. So what I'm saying is that if there's a judgment of court restraining you from going ahead with a program, it's not for you to go and file another case in another court.
But what were you supposed to do?
To appeal.
To appeal,
you
and
will
then...
go and appeal against that judgment. Well, that is the law I know. But they will say the one in Ibadan is not the same thing as the one in, at the Federal Court. They will tell you the facts are not the same.
So you're saying that is
the argument, and they will tell you the facts are not the same. That in my own belief, that is the first thing that notifies it. Secondly, the condition precedent to do that convention has not been fulfilled.
Which is?
And that was the argument before the Federal Court in Abuja.
The 21 days notice?
Not even the 21 days notice alone. Those who went to court at Federal Court before Justice Omotosho, what was the argument? The argument was that the party has failed, those who want to carry out the convention, has failed to comply with the provision of the Constitution and the guidelines of the party, which requires that there must be world congresses across the states, there must be local government congresses, and there must be state congresses. There are states who are yet to do their congresses, and you want to go ahead and conduct a convention, which means those people have been shut out. Because those that will participate as delegates, majority of them are should be part of the people elected at the Congress. So they are saying, look, we have not elected our own congresses. So it is too early or premature for us to go ahead. And that was why the former Senate President, Dr. Bala Saraki, foresaw this. He said that it would be advisable for us to stay this process.
I'd spoken with...
And resolve this our...
I'd spoken with Chibode George, who mentioned that Saraki had this job for almost a year, and he didn't come up with a report until few days to the national convention.
Which job? Reconciliation?
Yes.
What job does he have to?
No,
has he done his own part?
I'm saying that why did he wait a few days to the national convention to come up with a recommendation?
Let him admit that the Dr. Saraki led committee is yet to submit their report. Does that give you the opportunity to do the wrong thing? To do impunity?
What we're saying now,
to not follow the rules and laws of the party?
Is a gale of expulsions, starting from the Ibadan Convention. Wike, Anyawu, Fayose, and others were expelled. Today we are hearing that Makinde, the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, and others have also been expelled. Do you believe those expulsions or those expulsions really follow due process under the PDP constitution?
Not at all.
Both of them?
Not at all. Not at all. You see, the one at Ibadan, for instance, under Section 57 of the party constitution, Constitution of the People Democratic Party, 2027 was amended. They require that there are processes, there are procedures. Lay down the disciplinary procedure to be followed. And that disciplinary procedure include giving notice to those who have been alleged or have been charged for any offense. They are not only required to be given notice, they have the right to come and defend themselves before the disciplinary committee. In fact, in Section 57, Subsection 6 of that constitution said that failure to give notice or opportunity for them to defend themselves would nullify any step taken against them. So tell me, when was the notice given to these people? Where was it? When did the committee start and discuss about it? Was it ratified by NEC? Was the report taken to NEC for consideration? Was it? Were they given opportunity to come and defend themselves? Was it at the convention where it was held? That was why you see the governor of Adamawa State and the governor of Plateau State working out disassociating themselves from that.
But how come
on the ground that they were not aware? It shows that those who are supposed to be carried along are not there. And unfortunately, the person that even moved the motion, Chief Duode George, with due respect, it does not have a moral grant to even move a motion for expulsion of anybody, because he fully supported anti-party activities.
Let us take morality out of this.
It's part of it. No, I'm talking about law. I'm talking about
what would matter in court would be the constitutionality of what they have done. But how come the Wike camp also fell into the same trap?
No, they did not fall into any trap.
But they just announced expulsion today.
You see, the truth is that what we are seeing now is what in local palace called Rofo fight. What they also call recently at a particular coronation, what they tag as a "we laughing go with it."
You have to translate.
I would say na madness. Then they take cure madness. That's what you are seeing now, and that was what the former Senate president was warning against.
Let us take a break from
that. This will cause more problem for the party.
Let us take a short break from the madness, but we'll get back to it shortly. Stay with us, everyone. Sonjay Abdulrahman-Led, lawyer and member of the PDP, thank you for staying the course on the program today. Let's turn to today's physical confrontation. Is it legally or politically defensible for either group to have turned up at that plaza with supporters? In fact, not even supporters, thugs, who ended up unleashing violence on each other?
It is unfortunate that is happening. In fact, it's unfortunate that judiciary, the police institution, INEC, including INEC, have been put into this fight.
What has INEC done here?
You can see the debate. INEC was not there. It was there. That is. You are bringing them into this.
But the Electoral Act says they may attend. That's what it says.
No, I know. I'm not
they were not
that.
really.
I'm not disputing. I said they've brought them into the fight. The argument, the debate as to whether they should be there or not is even enough to say they've been drawn into the battle. You can see your reporter now talk about the police. See what they are doing.
Yeah, but you can blame that on the politicians, including the governors, the ministers, all of them.
That's why I say it's unfortunate that
police officers.
These issues have been drawn into the fight. And this has been one for one. I'm repeating it. That Dr. Bukola Saraki foresaw this. And he said it, that this will not bring unity. Going ahead with this convention will not bring unity. It will not bring peace. Let's step. And are you not seeing what is happening now?
But they say
I'm telling you, unfortunately,
the expulsion
is going down.
The expulsion of individuals like the FCT minister was even coming too late, considering the things he's done, considered anti-party. That
is debatable. I'm not saying yes or no. But I'm saying that, look, even if it's being done now, you have to do it in line with the due process of law, as well as in line with the constitution of the party. In particular, compliance with Section 57. The disciplinary procedure is stated in that section, and it's clearly stated there So what this procedure followed.
All right.
That is the point here.
Let me play an excerpt of an interview we had with Tanimu Turaki, who is the PDP national chairman. Some said call them factional chairman, but you know it will take a court to determine whether they're a faction, so we're just going to call them camps or groups for now. But he said something very, very instructive earlier today.
We will be now calling on international community. I want to call on President Trump. What is at stake is not just genocide against Nigerian Christians. He should come and save democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is under threat. I'm calling on all other developed nations, all advanced democracies, come and save Nigeria, come and save democracy. Because I cannot understand how a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be leading talks, armed talks, and then with the active connivance or support of the police to come and create mayhem here. I have said it, we are willing to lay down our lives to protect our office, to protect our democracy, to protect our mandate. So Nigerians, you are watching what is happening. International community, you are seeing the threat that Nigerian democracy is. Come and save us.
That is the national chairman of your party calling on U.S. President Donald Trump to come and save democracy in Nigeria. That the challenge is not only genocide against Christians, but Christy is at risk on the premise of what happened today. How do you react?
It's unfortunate that we are involving foreign country in our business and our problems. This is how we start. And this is how those in government today started. You recall in 2014 or more, they were doing the same thing, going to one country or the other, particularly the US and the UK, calling them to come and intervene and save rescue us. Today, US is threatening to intervene in our affair, particularly on security matter. They were saying we're a sovereign nation, don't come. We are calling the US to come and intervene in our democracy now. The US will now come and impose its own style on us. And then I see this as a neocolonialism. We should do our own thing ourselves. And that was why the court said, look, issue of party or whatever should be settled within the party's procedure or means of settling matters. Calling outsiders to come and resolve your issue may boomerang in the future or thereafter. I don't see why. Yes, they have the right to. Like I said, they are following precedent. People in government today did the same thing. There are records of that. So probably they want to also follow the same suit. But it's unfortunate. I will not align with that. That we should be calling for in a.
But what kind of intervention does this situation require? Is this how we're just going to keep watching while they shoot at each other and make a mess of our democratic institution?
It's because we don't have the system that works. And probably because the president is also not doing the right thing.
How do you mean? The
president controls the police. He should have called them to order. People should have been policed.
How do you expect the police to have
informing themselves in issues that does not concern them?
But all of them
they are not supposed to be.
All of them, as you know, have an entourage of policemen that follow them. How should they have reacted in this case?
Yeah, I'm saying, look, they have a police that follow them. Should they be fighting? Should they be involved in throwing tear gas of innocent people? Is that how they were trained? Is that what they asked them to do?
Mr. President today is a member of the APC. He has employed E.S. Wike as a member of his cabinet. What exactly do you expect him to do now, given his political
whether it's a president from APC or it's from PDP or whatever, once you become a president of the country, you are president of all parties. You are president of everybody. So you should not be partition. But I'm not even talking about APC.
No, I'm asking that what kind of intervention should he make?
I'm not even talking about APC or APC now. There should be proper warning to the police, IGP, that is under the control of the president. Look, tell your people, they should be professional in their job. They should not be part of the fight between political parties. Must they engage in this kind of activities?
You don't think it's more of an institutional challenge, right? Because any involvement by Mr. President now will also mean that he's given instructions to the police to do.
No, it is an institutional challenge, but who controls the institutions? Will the institutions control themselves? Without people in charge? That's why that's why the president is commander-in-chief. So the institution will not on its own control itself. There are people who control it. I know we have institutional deficiency and structural deficiency in the country, and that's the basic of our problem in this country. If you have institution that works, You will not see this in the US, where police will be involved in political matter or siding a particular group or another, against another group. You will not see it. Even the Trump that the US are calling upon, the election, the last election that brought Trump was not that free and fair. There are issues.
We have to go now. The big question is, where do we go from here, and what must happen structurally within the party, the PDP, to prevent a repeat of the violence and the factionalism that we see evolving? Tuji Abdulrahman-Led, lawyer, a member of the PDP, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me. I'm afraid the way we are now, it may be dangerous for anybody to contest under the platform of PDP.
We'll see how that plays out. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of it. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.